Okay, so today I want to talk to you guys about and show you kind of what I have on my cart for almost every shoot I go to. So what I'll usually bring with me is 6 C-stands, 2 low boys. I have 2 of these newer C-stands. They're really lightweight and they're pretty heavy duty, I guess for a C-stand, not really. And then I have these impact C-stands, which are a little bit more sturdy, a little more heavy. The newer ones are nice because I can throw them around a lot easier and move them around a lot quicker. So those are pretty nice. Just throw sandbags on them and they're fine. They're all turtle-based C-stands. So I'm gonna show you how I load them up on the cart. This is a custom cart that I built. So usually what I'll do is I'll put the low boys in the middle. And I'm gonna show you guys how I kind of lock this up too. These newer C-stands, these do more of the traditional C-stand. When you close them, you just have to kind of force them closed. But they're also turtle C-stands as well, the turtle base. And I'll usually just put these over on the other side. Again, these are the force ones. You just force them and they're a turtle. And I just kind of manhandle them right in. The impact ones, pull them and they just kind of fall into place, which is great. You just got to hear it click and you know it's locked up. And now, you're probably wondering, well, when you put it in your van, it's all going to slide out, right? So, not the case. So what I'll usually do, or every time I'll do, is I got this strap here. Just strap it right over. And now, as Dad would say, it's not going anywhere, right? So if I don't do that and I put it in the back of the van and I lock the cart down, these are gonna go straight through the back door window when I accelerate. So that would be really bad. So this, I might actually get a couple of them or one that's a little bit stronger because this one eventually is gonna get weak. So then I have this Kupo boom arm or extension arm. So what I can really do with this is boom out a light really far on a C-stand and just clip on a grip head right onto a C-stand and you can boom it out real far. Boom a light out or really whatever you might want to boom out. It could be anything. You can get really creative with it. So, and that doesn't matter. So a lot of times I'll just toss this right in here if I decide I want to bring it. And I usually don't put it in the van like this because obviously it's not too secure in there, right? I could try to strap it down, but I don't feel like doing that right now. This is a super lightweight, really cheap boom arm for audio, for a microphone. I don't have a shock mount on it, which is, you know, shame on me, but I've never really had a problem. So it's super lightweight and yeah, I just toss it right in here, usually, and it's usually just fine. Then I have my FX9 case. So this case here just obviously has my FX9 handle, 2 monitors. I have the 702 Touch right here, and I have actually the SmallHD Focus 7. If you can get your hands on a SmallHD Focus 7, you'd be surprised at how accurate and how much it matches the newer 7-inch monitors by SmallHD. You'll be shocked, and it's such a good purchase if you can get it. I think I got this for like $450. I found one online for like $550 with a cage. If you can find one, go for it. SmallHD Focus 7. V-mounts, wires, yeah, just the FX9, sorry. And then I have the stock monitor for it here. And this goes right on top. And then what I have is my accessory case, accessories and lenses right here. So I'll move this FX9 case over and I'll show you this real quick. So really in here is just accessories and lenses. So I have V-mounts, I have zipper bags. This has like wires for lavs. I have USB-C cables and I have my Rode Go's in here. I have the NPF batteries. I have a bunch of those in here. I have the A7S III batteries just chilling here too. It's a little bit of a mess in here, but I kind of know where everything is. And I also have some top handles and things like that kind of stored in here as well. I use the Zeiss Milvis lenses, which are manual focus. This is actually an EF mount lens, believe it or not. And I just mount it on my FX9 with an adapter, and I love the way they look. They look great. I have a 35, 85, and I have a 50 right now, which is in my FX9 case. And I have the good old Canon 24-105. This lens has come in handy here and there, not the greatest quality. And then I have actually on this camera here, I have the 16-35 by Canon. All right, so camera cases, you usually just kind of leave right up here. I'll have both of those up there. So this is like a 5x3, 5-in-1. This is awesome. A nice little layer of diffusion. I think it's like a 1.5 stop diffusion in there, which I use a lot. I can just pop it out, throw it on a cheap stand right in front of like an Aperture 300D or something with a softbox. And it softens up the light so nice. And it's usually just about the size of my subject. So when they're sitting down, so it ends up being really nice, and I can kind of back the light up a little bit and maybe widen the shot out. It looks great. This, I usually just kind of stick right up in there. And now, I have an audio case. This has all of my audio stuff in it, from microphones to cables. I have the old Rode Link wireless system in here. And yeah, I have like walkie-talkies, things like that, that kind of go in here. And that will usually just kind of sit right up on top. I'll kind of wedge it in. So I have the Aperture 600D. Fantastic light. This, I'll usually just kind of stick right around here. It's not huge down there, so I kind of have to put it sideways. And then this, I will put flat, which is an Aperture 300D Mark II. And then another Aperture 300D Mark II goes sideways right there. So Aperture makes fantastic lights. I absolutely love them. I actually have some Amaran lights I'm going to show you guys in a minute too. The 2-foot Amaran tubes. These are great little lights. Sometimes if I'm shooting B-roll and it's kind of a run and gun situation, I'll have someone just grab one of these and walk around with me and just kind of light the subjects that I need lit, either backlight or side light. Sometimes it's just that little bit of light and it makes that subject look so much nicer. I have a 4-foot tube, which usually will be a backlight, or if I just need more light for something, I'll just kind of grab this. So yeah, it can be used for, you know, lots of different situations. I have the Aperture Lantern, which is nice. I got mixed feelings about it lately, but really to spread some light around and kind of fill up a room. If you point it up at a ceiling, it'll kind of wash really nicely in somewhat of a soft way. I try not to use it as a key, maybe a backlight. It works really nice. And I'll usually just kind of stick this right up in the back there. I got my tripod. It's not a cool one. It's just a Manfrotto tripod, but I'll just stick this right up in here. And there we go. My second tripod I usually have as well, but that's on this A7S right here. I'll just kind of use these straps to make sure things aren't really gonna fall and are in a good spot. So here we are. I have the Amaran 200 series lights, 200D and a 200X. These lights are really nice. 200X will give me a bicolor and a 200D will give me just, I think, 5600 Kelvin. So they're really, really helpful. I would say they're almost as powerful as the 300D Mark IIs. Not quite there, but you could substitute an Amaran 200D for a 300D Mark II. And you wouldn't really notice too much of a difference when it comes to output. With the X, you might notice because the bicolor does bring down the level just a little bit. So I usually just stick those right there. I'm gonna turn this for you guys so you can kind of see what's going on here. So yeah, it all fits on there pretty nice so far. As of right now, I have 600D, two 300Ds, 3 tube lights, 2 of the 2-foot, 1 4-foot. I have 2 Amaran 200 series lights. I have my accessories case, Sony FX9 audio, 6 C stands, a boom arm, audio boom arm as well. So I can bring this grip equipment with me. Usually what I'll do to start is I'll bring only the things that I need. So if I need audio, I'll just bring the audio grip head here. If I need some clamps, I'll just bring those. If I need Cardellini clamps, grip heads, I'll just kind of bring what I think I might need and I'll get it as I go. But I can also, if I know I have a lot to do, like a lot of setup to do, I could just do that. It does start to get pretty heavy, as you can see. you know, have a lot of equipment on here right now, it's probably pretty heavy, but these tires are actually solid tires, so they're gonna handle that weight pretty well, and I'm not too worried about it. So this is usually, I think this is everything I usually have besides my A7S III and my other Manfrotto tripod. So I know it seems kind of silly, but I have 2 of these. I could get a bunch more, but 2 is really all I need. I don't necessarily need more. I have 2 of these little stands, and I mean, they're so light, and I can throw an Amaran 200D on this, or 200X, no problem. I could throw a tube on that, just screw it in right to the top there, set it down, and it works out pretty nice. You're limited with these. You can't really boom anything, but I could either just stick that there or stick it somewhere over here, right, while I'm transporting. But so I do bring this. This is the Aputure Light Dome version 1. As you can see, it's very flat. It's super, super flat. It's double diffused, so I think there's 3 stops of diffusion on the front, which obviously gives you a nicer and a softer look. It brings the level down a bit, but a lot of times, like for corporate interviews, unless you have a super, super wide shot, you don't need a whole ton of output when you're fighting window light or you're outside. So I'll stick that, nope, I'll stick it right here usually. And again, I can kind of bring this down. For the most part, it kind of works pretty good. I might need to just grab another one or figure out a different system, but yeah, that works pretty nice. But now I'll bring you guys over to the van and show you guys what I don't usually bring, only for use case scenarios where I might need an 8x or more diffusion or this or that, right? So I'm gonna bring you guys over and show you. So these are great if you work a lot at night or you just need to shoot a video and it's dark in your van. You stick them right to the ceiling. I think I got them from Home Depot, super cheap. Stick them right up. I got 2 of them. They work great. So this is stuff that I don't really usually bring with me, but only for certain use cases. So again, I have a scrim kit, an impact scrim kit, and this has a lot of nets, a lot of cutting material, some diffusion, things like that. And I think there might be 6 frames in here, and I can just hook up anything I really need to it to kind of help cut light or diffuse light. It works really well. Sometimes backlight with the sun, you just throw a scrim up and just kind of diffuse the sun or cut the sun a little bit. It works really nice. And that usually just kind of lives right here in the van. I also have these. These came with my newer C-stands, and you can just boom these on a grip head, and then you can attach lights on either end. They have some threading, so they work really great. I actually use those quite a bit, to be honest with you. And then I have an 8x frame. This is not an expensive one. I mean, it depends on what you consider not expensive, but it's a glow 8x frame. And this will open up and lock into place pretty simply. And it, you know, it can come pretty compact just in this case. So I'll sit that right over here, right on top of the scrim kit. I take that out quite a bit. A lot of times I'll use that even indoors, but the big frame is usually for outdoors if you have a little bit of wind. And then I have a frame for a bounce and diffusion. This is smaller. I think this might be like 5x3. Again, just kind of like the 5-in-1 that I have, but this one I can actually lock the frame and put it on a C-stand and it stays in its place. This is for more if you need to lock something in and keep it in its place for a long period of time. I don't bring that out a whole lot, but there are some cases where I do. And then I have another light dome that I use here and there. It's very flat. Again, I can just store this and it doesn't take up much space. So if I'm setting up 2 300Ds with light domes, I can use this. I don't have double diffusion on this, so it's like 1.5 stops, which I honestly noticed the difference pretty significantly. I have a normal 5-in-1 just hanging right here. I have batteries and chargers. I have this bag. This is like, I just carry this, put lenses in it for B-roll, you know, like a little man purse. And then I have my drone, Mavic Air 2. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think it's a great drone. And then, yeah, these little stands. A lot of times I won't even take those on the cart with me, but I know if I know I have a lot of setup, I usually will. And then I have rags and negative kind of all in this bag here. Little bongo ties, you know, I think this is a stop. And then I have negative, and there's actually green in there as well if I needed to set up a green screen on the 8x8, which I'm sure, you know, some point in the future I'll be using for this or that. I have 6 sandbags. I don't find myself really needing any more of them. those usually are use case. So if I bring them in and I feel like, hey, I really need a few sandbags here, I'll toss them on there. I have my gimbal case here. This is a Ronin S. Nothing super special, guys, not too exciting, but it works. Again, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? This works nice. For gimbal, all I really do is push in shots. I don't do much crazy work with gimbals. Just for that, maybe that exterior wide push in, or following somebody with autofocus, things like that. I have a Flycam Easy Rig, or Flycam knockoff Easy Rig. I don't use Easy Rigs very much. So when I need one, usually it's for like standing interviews, like kind of people on the street style interview looks. And if they're like, hey, this guy's gonna talk for 5 or 10 minutes, I'll slip this on and then I won't use it for the rest of the day. I usually do all my B-roll, usually handheld, just kind of tuck the FX9 in and I roll like that. I find that Easy Rigs style stuff kind of limits me and I don't enjoy it very much. So those kind of live there. What I have here is the Aputure F10 Fresnel. I used this pretty recently on a shoot with the 600D. We were shooting outdoors. We set up the 8x frame and we blasted this through it. And it added some really nice, pretty soft light. And I was very, very happy with it. Then I have here the barn doors by Aputure. These are great. These are great. I don't usually use these a whole lot, but there are use cases where these come in handy really, really well, especially with the Fresnel. You can make some streaks on a wall. You can really shape your light to get on the subject that you're trying to get it on, right? Tape, zip ties, things like that, random things. This is probably in its wrong place. I should probably put it over here with the stingers. And then over here, some fun stuff. This is like kind of tools and like little accessories, some rails. I have like some snippers, a piece of a cage, like tiny little accessories and things like that, that if I'm trying to build out a rig, this comes in handy, like really, really well. And I've used it quite a bit. Here, I just have all of my stingers. Yep, I threw that tape and zip ties. I have Atmosphere aerosol sitting there and just a bunch of stingers. I have some tape. This kind of lives in the van as well. Sometimes I will bring it if I know like we're outdoors and I need to extend, you know, out to a field or something. I can bring that out and we're usually fine. And then I have this. This is kind of stupid. But yeah, I have this small rig matte box, which I don't use. I have my side handle and I have the loop for my FX9. This is nice just to have. If I ever need it for any certain scenario, I always have it. I try to keep everything that I own in the van. When I'm home and I'm parked, I try to take expensive things out and in my home. I try not to leave expensive things in the van overnight because you never know. Up here, I have a backpack. This is a great backpack, a Dakine. I got this years ago. I got it used. It's nice to have in the van because if I get somewhere and I realize, crap, like I gotta be on my feet and I gotta have stuff with me. I can't take a Pelican case. I can throw all my stuff right in here and put it on my back and be good. I mean, I don't want it to be too heavy, but I can handle a little bit of weight on my back. So this backpack is really tough. They're expensive bags, the Dakine ones, hence why I got it used. And it's been awesome. So next here I have a teleprompter and I have everything. I think I got this case at Home Depot or Harbor Freight, something like that. All my accessories are in here for the teleprompter. I have the glass right here and I have everything else right underneath it all, and I can put this together fairly quickly, and this case actually holds it like kind of perfect. And this is it's an iCan teleprompter. I think I might have paid $400 or so for it. So it's not necessarily a cheap one. This has been the perfect case. I have not had any damage to this, and I've had it in this case for years now. So locks pretty nice. I can put a zip tie on here if I need to, if I feel like these locks are getting kind of funny. But at that point, I'd probably just buy a new one. I have an umbrella. This I can throw on my FX9 actually with a Cardellini clamp. I figured out a way to kind of, I forget now, but I screw something into my cage, Cardellini clamp this right on, open it up, I can be out in the rain. It's really, really pretty cool. If you want to see a video on that, I can make that as well. I just have some black material right here. Block out windows, set up negative fill, whatever I might need it for. But yeah, I think that's just about it. You know, I don't have the power bank with the refrigerator and the solar panels on the roof. This van literally has caused me zero overhead. I own it free and clear. It's got a little bit of miles on it. What is it, a 2015? But you know what? If it's all of my equipment in it well, I can throw my cart right in here, lock it in. I have everything I need in this van. I don't need to be putting more overhead into my business than I have to. So now I'm gonna show you guys how I just load the van up in here and how I lock it up. Hope this doesn't fall. So what I usually have to do when I'm loading the cart up, or every time, I have to take everything off the top. I can leave some flat stuff up there, like the 5-in-1s or whatever, but I can't leave any cases or crates up there because they will hit the roof. And I'm actually gonna take this guy out too. We'll load him up separately. All right, now, I've never really had a scare loading this up. It's always been pretty simple. If I don't lock in and strap in these C-stands, then I'll be in a big problem or big trouble. But usually, just like that, and we Gucci. All right, now locking the cart in. I just use these ratchet straps. I have to kind of widen this out just a little bit more in order to kind of fit around this here. I don't really want to put it on my caster because I don't want to knock this loose at all, because that's pretty important to keep safe. And this is just attached to the floor of the van there with a hook. And yep, just ratchet it down. You'll notice the cart starting to come in a little bit more there, which is good. You want that. I want the cart to be nice and snug right up against this, so that way I know this cart is really pretty safe and pretty sturdy. And another point of security for that cart is this ramp, which I'll just kind of take and I'll slide right into the side. Super, super simple. Here's that boom arm. The Amaran lights. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys about this actually. This is a little rock and roller cart. I usually put this like in a luggage case for airplanes, for like, I'll put it in with my clothes and I'll toss it in there because it's pretty short, but it can open up to be decently big. I'm not exactly sure of the dimensions of the whole thing when it's closed or opened up. Okay, put my Amaran series lights right over there. Then what I'll usually do is get B case. I'll turn my wheel sideways and I'll kind of snug that right in there. This, I don't know where the heck. It's got ratchet straps in it, I think. I forgot to tell you guys about that. Who cares? And then this doesn't have a place yet. I don't know where to put it. So for now, I'll just stick it under there. Okay, case A, Sony FX9. That goes right there. Audio, a lot of times I'll stick audio up here. I know it's pretty unsafe up there, so I should probably stop. I need to make some borders on the top here so that things don't slide off, but I can put it up here. But for the sake of this video right now, the more safe place to put it will be right around here. Okay, and then the last piece and the hardest piece to fit in is my grip crate here. I don't have a whole ton of grip stuff. I do need more, but as of right now, I haven't necessarily needed more. But having more would be fun. That just comes with more options. So this is the hardest thing to fit. And it fits. These sandbags are snugged up right next to it. I know I don't have the most exciting van, but it's functional, and I buy things to be functional. I don't buy things to be showy. And I understand that, you know, you buy something because it looks nice, you're taken more seriously. I completely understand that, I get that. And yeah, I would like to be able to do that too, but I look at function first. And this van is very functional. Again, zero overhead. It's a Chevy City Express. Again, like 2015, I think. I paid at the height of the market as well. It was a decent little chunk, but I was able to trade in a vehicle and just have this thing free and clear. I could have got something twice as expensive, but I said I don't want overhead. I feel like that's the most important thing for my business, is to not have overhead. Because when you have slow times, which everybody comes across in this industry, you don't want a lot of overhead. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.